Hey guys, welcome back to Handmade Highland. My name's Dawn and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the HTVRONT Manual Heat Press. I purchased this with my own money because I wanted to see if I could find a hat press that functioned just as well as my industrial hat press. This is my Galaxy hat press and I have been using that for over 10 years, but it is big, bulky, has developed a few squeaks, but it still does the job. But I thought, do you know what, I need something that I can just pick up and move out of the way when I'm not using it. If you ever sat down and gone, I really want a hat press, but you said I can't justify it because I don't make very many hats. Well, actually, I very rarely make any hats as well. In fact, the only person I seem to make hats for is my husband. I bought a manual heat press many moons ago to do other types of blanks, from plushies to pockets to sleeves, other things that didn't fit under my heat press without problematic seams or buttons or poppers or that sort of thing, or in the sense of plushies because they were filled with stuffing. I bought a hat press to do just that because it had a platen that was small enough to feed most of these things onto. So let me show you around the HTVRONT hat press. Let me see how it performs and whether it's going to stand up to the same kind of abuse that my old Galaxy hat press has for over 10 years now. So I've brought the HTVRONT Manual Hat Press over and sat it next to my Galaxy Manual Hat Press. This thing's been about in my workshop for over 10 years. It's got some terrible squeaks. It's bulky, it's clunky, the controls are in completely the wrong place for most people. If you want to control any of the settings, you have to get your hand in behind the hat press. The number of times I have burnt myself on this thing is unreal. The controls to control the pressure is underneath, but everything else about a hat press is exactly the same. This is my old Galaxy and it is very weighty. This thing takes a lot. You need arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger just to be able to move it around the workshop. I thought I would bring over the HTVRONT Manual Hat Press and sit it next to it just to give you an idea of the difference in size, footprint, and just like silly things like this can be picked up and moved around with great ease, which is actually the reason why I bought it, was so that I had a hat press that I could pick up and move around, but also a second hat press for using when I was doing multiples of something like teddies. What I use my manual hat press for isn't actually hats. It is plushies, socks, pockets, things that don't necessarily fit well underneath a manual heat press. So I don't use it predominantly for hats. Yes, if I have a hat come in that I need to do, then they're here, but what I use it for is actually teddy bears. This is actually the type of things that I press on my hat press, and the reason why I bought another one, because I do a lot of these, but I just wanted to show you that if you did, for instance, want to do a keyring, you're popping it onto the hat press, and if you look here, it actually works a lot better than having to fight with something like this to try and fit it underneath the plate. Again, bigger teddy bears, popping the feet under, putting the belly underneath where the hat needs to go, or where the hat would normally go. These feet won't stay under, and as you can see, the plate covers almost entirely all of the teddy bear's tummy. That is it. That's what I use my hat presses for predominantly. So let's turn it on and have a quick look around it. The button for turning it on this press is right up front with all of the other controls. So we pop it on. And if you are in the UK and you have got one of these heat presses and it has come in Fahrenheit, if you press the up and the down button together, it will allow you to change from Celsius to Fahrenheit, and you just need to use the up and down buttons in order to do that. Once ready, hit the gear button and that will be you in Celsius. How does this work? If you want to set your time and temperature, you would hit the gear button again, and then you would pick the up and down to set it to the temperature that you require for your product. For instance, with DTF, I do my DTF at between 130 and 150 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. In this case, I've got it set to 130 degrees Celsius, and on the bottom here, you just second press it, and again, 15 seconds. Once you're happy, push the gear button and it will heat up to the temperature that you require. Again, you have a handle. The handle is what you use to lower down your platen onto whatever the plush is, or the plush, whatever you are pressing, whether it be a hat or a plush or a sleeve. And if you want to change the amount of pressure, there is a dial just here that allows you to change the pressure. And actually, you can get to a point where you can't actually shut the handle. Therefore, there is a lot of pressure to be able to be used within here. Now, something that I also noticed, I was a little worried about when I originally looked at this, was the reviews that I had seen had said that it didn't automatically start to count down. Well, this one does. So when you close over your handle, you don't have to worry about pushing the button to tell it to start counting. It counts down automatically. Shall we press something and I'll let you see how it works? So we're going to pop this DTF transfer onto this Highland cow. Now, where is my tape? Would be helpful if I were organised. I'm just going to pop some tape on either side of this and trim it down a little. My Highland cow with the feet to the back to cover, and then I'm going to press. These are incredibly quick to make. In fact, one of the things I like about them is how fast you can turn around. As long as you have a DTF transfer, you are able to press onto these plushies. 130 degrees for 15 seconds. I'm going to open up the press and I'm just going to give it a quick rub. So as you can see, the transfer is now on my plush, and then I'm going to give it a second press using a bit of T-seal. Iron back under, second press, and once this is done, we will have a Highland cow ready for sale using the HTVRONT Manual Hat Press. As I said, it's not one of those things that you require just for hats. You can make it work for almost anything that's little. There we go. Also, if you wanted to press on the foot will fit under. If you want to press on an ear, the ears will go under. There's lots and lots of applications specifically for the hat press, got fluff on there, that you are able to use to make the hat press more versatile than just it being a hat press. My personal opinion on this is it's a fantastic little hat press. It is very light. It is definitely built with the crafter in mind, or being able to store it at home. But I do think that it will work just as hard as my old Galaxy heat press. So if you liked the content that you saw today, please consider giving me a like. And if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comment box and I will get back to you with an answer. Until the next time, love ya, bye.